Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Jamie Scrafton here, bringing you another night of exciting racing from the NGR bunch. Tonight is a little bit of a different story. It's not team versus team, it's not for points. This is the test season, as they are calling it. Starting in the new year, there will be a Hot Hatch series that NGR will be doing. So of course they're just running some tests on different tracks to see how much they can get out of these cars to create the best exciting racing and a series going forward. Tonight we're at Blue Moon Speedway, a track very similar, I would say, to Pocono Raceway in the United States. Sort of a three-cornered track, turn one, very tight, quite heavily banked though here at Blue Moon. But it can be, you can overshoot that corner very easily. We've seen quite a few guys already do that in the practice sessions before we started the stream. And the best part I love about this series so far has been the paint schemes. We can see Mr. Saxo, of course, a very fast driver. We saw him yesterday in the team versus team events, and he won the only other race I believe we've streamed on GT Sport on an oval, which was BB Raceway. But if you look here, we have JD Green in his beautiful Duff BS scheme. Let's take a look through the field. We have Polish Magic, not seen him on the streams before, running a very similar paint scheme to Mr. Saxo, the NGR orange and black paint scheme there, looking very nice. We have NGR Taylor. We can't really get a good look at his scheme as he's currently in the pits. But we have Edu driving a Joey Logano scheme, which is pretty cool. There's Edu from last night's team versus team event, driving his 22 Pennzoil Ford Focus. It's not Ford, is it? I think that's Megane, actually. My bad. It was just because Joey Logano, Penske organisation. He's got the Fusion sticker on there. Let's go down to Baz though. I've seen this paint scheme shared about. This is his throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s sort of early Budweiser scheme in the number 8. Looking very sharp on the racetrack. Let's see as he flies by. Very nice scheme, Baz. NGR Scotty. Not quite sure what the scheme is. We'll have to wait until he does a drive-by here. Currently on his outlap. This could be a salute to the veterans, I believe. Yeah, it does look like a very honourable paint scheme there for Veterans Day. Remembrance Sunday kind of paint scheme with the poppies on the front there. That's a very nice scheme, Scotty. There's of course JD Green and his Duff-mobile. Now that Taylor is out, he seems to be running just a different styled NGR paint scheme, which is looking quite funky and quite different compared to the other NGR schemes we've seen, as we have a yellow flag out on the racetrack. What's happened there? Edu gets a bit funny in the first corner and into the wall. Understandable, that corner's horrible. I'm not sure what this yellow flag is out for. The yellow flag is currently on the front stretch, but I'm yet to find a vehicle. Polish Magic, I believe, is just because he's parked it on the apron, possibly. That is causing the yellow flag, which could be causing some issues. So he's going to get going, I think, to avoid that. That will be messing up people's lap timers with the flags. That's a good thing. I forgot, oh, what's that guy? Is it Cletus on the back? No, it's not Cletus, it's the... Oh, his name escapes me, saying you're too slow. A nice touch there on JD Green's paint scheme. Let's back out of the spectator view and just see our list of entrants here on the right. A couple of our guys have not been to the track yet. Of course, there's me at the top. Don't worry, I will not be one of these guys driving tonight. I'd rather save myself from the embarrassment. So in total right now we have 11 drivers in the field. We have NGR Robinson, who is the host of our lobby. We have NGR Scotty, Polish Magic, Mr. Saxo, NGR, I'm just going to call him Fanny, I think that's what it's trying to be, or Lager. We'll call him Lager because I'm pretty sure Fanny's not an appropriate term to be using during a commentating session. We don't belong here, he was driving his Petronas AMJ, I believe, at Brands Hatch, one of our last races. We have NGR Taylor, JD Green, Baz 46, NGR Edu from last night's team versus team event, and also General A95. I believe that man is quite the genius in the paint booth. You can see already from his bumper he's driving a Monster Energy Civic. We will get a better look at that when it comes out. And this is NGR Lager. I've seen him post this scheme He's doing a sort of tribute to Lightning McQueen from the Cars franchise, which would be quite cool to see on track. An NGR Robinson scheme, we'll have to wait until we get a good view of that out on the racetrack. So I believe the way this lobby is working, the way they're going to be doing these hot hatch events are... there'll be a sort of a sprint race in the beginning. Points will be assigned to where you finish in that race, but then for a 20-lap feature, or well, depending on the track I suppose, there will be a longer feature race and the grid will be reversed. So if you finish first, you'll be starting dead last, etc, etc. The fastest lap currently set by any driver in this lobby is NGR Robinson with 53.6. Mr. Saxo, currently on the racetrack, is the fastest though. Not all of our drivers have taken a lap, but once they have, we will take a look at the live timing chart and give that a look. See just how fast these drivers are going and how they compare to their competitors. As JD Green's looking to make a pass here on Mr. Saxo, they make a little bit of a contact. JD Green though getting that draft, that's going to probably improve his lap time. Yes, it does. Remember, on an oval track like this with these straightaways, you're going to have to using the draft and the slipstream of other drivers to play into your hand. We're going to, if you excuse me just 1 second, I'm just going to be joining a party on the PlayStation Network with one of the drivers in the field, General, and a couple of other guys, so we'll be chatting with them as the race goes on, see what they're thinking of the event. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello, Jamie.
In this party we have Mr. Saxo, General A95 and Polish Magic. What are you guys thinking of the racetrack so far?
It's close. The racetrack itself, it's not a racetrack, it's just 3 corners, Jamie.
It's a racetrack, Steve.
Yeah, I know you like the ovals. It's gonna be fun, without a doubt.
What are you guys thinking of turn 1? Because we're seeing a lot of people have issues in turn 1. A lot of people are overshooting that corner.
Yeah, it's a tricky one though. It's longer than you think. That's the thing.
Indeed. I'm excited to see General's scheme though. I can only see the back of it right now as he's on pit road. Why don't you bring it on out for a few laps, General, so we can have a look at your paint scheme.
Hold on a bit, I'm just putting my stream up as well.
So did you hear that, guys? If you're viewing this and you want to view an onboard, General A95 will be streaming an onboard of the race.
Yeah, it's just a game attack with a space between General and A95.
Good stuff. There's some very cool paint schemes in tonight's field. Have you guys seen the Simpsons Duff Beer scheme of JD Green?
I'm gonna go through them now.
There are some very cool paint schemes in tonight's field. There's a nice military salute from NGR Scotty with his Lest We Forget paint scheme. There we have a Lightning McQueen tribute from Lager. Baz running a Dale Earnhardt Jr. early years paint scheme. We Don't Belong Here running a Martini paint scheme, which looks very nice. And now that General is on the track, we can see he's got Monster Energy and NGR stuff as he gets into the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I'm putting out my silver. It's just the outlap, you know.
Yeah. The car needs to be in one piece though when you come out to take your first proper one.
And don't have any damage, so.
Very sleek design. Now that Mr. Robinson is on the racetrack, we can get a good look at his Valvoline. He's got a NASCAR style paint scheme going on too. The real question everyone wants to know, Mr. Saxo, is, are you going to win another race?
That's
seems to be
I
the.
don't know. We'll have to see.
It seems to be the running
definitely
theme
gonna
is
be
if I'm
interesting.
streaming one of these races, you take the checkered flag.
I'm not gonna go for the win anyway. You know, I don't like ovals, but I like a fun race.
Indeed, and I'm pretty sure we will see a very fun race. Do you know what time, Mr. Saxo, that the events will be kicking off for the actual race?
The
It's
race
about
will
8:30
start
my time.
in a half an hour.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so what I'll do is,
using-
I will occasionally pop in and talk to you guys.
Cool.
But in case I don't get a chance to say so before the start of the race, good luck. And remember to check out, if you would like to see an onboard, General A95. So there was a little chat there, guys, with 3 of the drivers in tonight's field, Mr. Saxo, General A95 and Polish Magic. The highest running Belgium driver on the racetrack right now is General A95, running in the 6th spot. Of course, not all of the guys are currently on the racetrack. Let's take a look at our timing monitor. These are the guys currently on the racetrack. JD Green has the fastest lap of the race drivers on the racetrack. He also has the fastest lap in total of a 53.3. The second place driver only 3/10 off. And our slowest driver right now on board is NGR Taylor with 55.5. So he's going to have to make up some time if he wants to be in with a shot. Let's take a look at the track map. So you can see it's a very simple oval. You've got quite a tight turn 1. Turn 2, it's fairly simple. Not a lot of opportunity for braking there. You can just fly it in there, but turn 3 can be a little bit tricky, especially if you are side by side. But it's turn 1, I think, that we're going to see the most issues in tonight's events. NGR Scotty now, as you can see, too wide. They can make a little bit of contact there. But as I said, I think NGR Scotty for the lap time will be in the better position here, because he'll be able to get the slipstream from General going down to the start finish line. Excuse me. That's one of my favourite things about these oval races. The cameras are really cool. When they fly by, you get a real sense of sound and speed. This camera, for instance, when General flies by here. We don't belong here in his nice martini paint scheme. Very much a big fan of that one. With the subtle NGR branding on it, very nice. And in front of him is Robinson, rocking his 37 Valvoline Megane. I believe that is. I need to check actually what the hell he's running. Let's have a look. He's in the Clio, sorry, my bad. Edu's in the Megane. So the field is made up of Focuses, Civics, Megane and Clio. There's only one of each of those. So Hovick and Civic and Focus seem to be making up the majority of our field tonight. NGR Taylor and Mr. Saxo currently on pit lane, getting probably ready to go out there and run a few more laps. Our first race is due to start in approximately half an hour. So Baz is coming out of the pits once again to run a few more laps. It's right on board with Baz as he takes a lap around here. He's currently on his out lap, getting into the slipstream of We Don't Belong here. So he wants to run it down to the bottom. It's the fastest line through through turn 2. But let's see how he attacks turn 3 now. For lap time, this is the corner you need to make the most time up. Gets a little bit loose there, trying to avoid We Don't Belong here, I believe. I think Edu may be just out of grasp for slipstream. Spaz takes the green here. So there's quite a bit of traffic coming behind. There's Mr. Saxo back there. He runs it quite low in turn 1. But he's gaining on Edu. Down through turn 2 again. The preferred line is right down by the apron, not touching the apron though, as that will cause you to spin. Slows it right down into turn 3. Wants to get the most speed out of the corner as he can, get right up against that wall. He turns it off there quite low. As you can see, Mr. Saxo now gaining with the slipstream. And that is a lap here at Blue Moon Speedway. Let's hop on board Mr. NGR Robinson right now, who did have the fastest lap for the majority of this session, but was taken by JD Green approximately 5 minutes ago. He's trying to reclaim his throne. And his Clio RS. Will he be able to do so? It's right up against that wall as JD Green hits the pits. Maybe that was a strategic move, just so Robinson could not get the draft. Maybe, maybe not. We'll never know. JD Green now back to the pits. Glad you can box in the top left. I've just unplugged my headset and replugged it back in. I've got a bit of a cold at the minute. I don't want to cough and just deafen you all, so I believe that's the better thing to do. So apologies for that big black box that may occasionally pop up. As NGR Robson comes back down onto the pits. Mr. Saxo now tracking down Joey Logano. And that Megane Ford Fusion, bit of an interesting combination. Obviously with the other race, a couple of the guys throwing tributes to NASCAR here. Polish Magic just slightly jumps ahead there of Mr. Saxo. Of course, in this test environment, the drivers can, as much as frequently as they want, I believe, head down to pit road and make adjustments to their setup. That is the whole reason that this testing session is occurring, of course. They want to get the most speed out of their vehicles as they can. Let's go back to our timing monitor now and see. This is your top 10. Do we have 10 entries? Let's have a look. Thought we had more than that. No, there are 10 entries. NGR Scotty, I presume, will be returning. But of course, you have to kind of leave the race to adjust the car setup. So we are running. Basically, these are the ones that are allowed. I don't have a Clio. I've got a lot of Megane trophies, though, as all gifts, as you noticed that. So this would be my Ford Focus if we were to go on there and do it. I might actually, let's just do it. Let's just run a lap with these guys and see where we stand up. So I'm just on the remote controller here. Let's see what I can get in a couple of laps here at the Blue Moon Speedway. Let's see what kind of time we get here. We're going to run an out lap. Of course, this is the stock setup that I'm running here. We're going to run the out lap and then one lap, see how we stand to our competitors tonight. And I'm guessing I won't finish very high. Certainly won't be anywhere near the top. So you want to bring it right down here, as close to that yellow line as you can without sliding the tyres. Against that wall again. Power down as much as we can here. I've got at a good time actually to do this because I'm not going to be in the way of anybody. We've taken the green. Don't mess this up, Jamie, it's your only chance. I'm running the default setup, so the car is quite tight. I imagine these guys will have loosened their machines up a little. Especially for turn 3, because that turn would be nice to get a little bit of brake in that corner. I really got loose centre in that corner, so I've lost a lot of speed. You can see coming behind me right now is JD Green, the fastest man on the track right now. What are we going to get? What was that? Let's have a look. Oop, no, I need to cancel. I think I need... Where did we end up? We set a 58.4, so by far the slowest time on the racetrack. So let's just quickly leave that before anyone noticed we did that, because that was pretty bad. General now of the men on the racetrack, currently the second quickest. NGR Robinson nearly broke into a 52 there. That's an impressive time. Let's take a look at the monitor. And he's not on there anymore. But we can compare because his details are saved there at the bottom. That's been the fastest lap. So compare that to JD Green, who's basically 2/10 slower. So Robinson was actually slower through sector 3. So he has time still to make up there. He can, if he can, on JD Green. A lot of guys in the pits right now. General, NGR Robinson, Mr. Saxo, NGR Lager. Taylor says he is back. Could our Duff Beer paint scheme be the quickest car? Can he get back ahead of NGR Robinson? It looked nice. Did he get back in the gas quick enough? That's right on board with the fastest man. Well, who was the fastest man? Very close to the wall there. He's running nearly 4/10 slower though. No, he runs it very deep in there. Just barely keeping it off the wall. That's a good turn. Still, sadly, not going to be enough there for NGR. JD Green, my apologies. So General A95 there is sat on the grass. Wonder what is going on there. Because this is causing a yellow flag situation on the racetrack. Which could be giving people penalties for passing him. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to get that resolved as soon as possible. And Joe Robinson though back out onto the racetrack. Maybe he's made a few adjustments. Let's see if his adjustments are better or worse as he takes his green flag. Excuse me. A little bit loose into 1, but he seems to carry the speed through, so he is faster through sector 1. Will sector 2 be the same? No, he's lost a tenth. Can he pull that back in turn 3? As we have a yellow flag on the racetrack, JD Green has come off. He's gone back to the pits. And Joe Robinson does not improve with 2 tenths off. Just behind him though, Mr. Saxon also 2 tenths off. Mr. Saxon run it very low there. I believe he might have hit the apron. That's going to kill his lap time, as the race is probably going to be started within the next 20 minutes. Mr. Saxo pulls over and allows for We Don't Belong Here to surge past. I think Mr. Saxo knew that his lap was killed. Unfortunately, he's running right into Baz's line. Baz is going to get into the wall. Clearly, Baz's preferred line is up against the outside wall coming out of 3. It's one of the hardest things in over racing, knowing where to go to allow your competition to pass. It's all very well leaving them the open bottom, but if they can't pass on the bottom and their preferred line is the top lane, you're going to just piss them off. NGR Taylor back out. Let's see what he's capable of. One more corner to go for NGR Taylor. Let's see what he can lay down. Running a very low turn 3. NGR Lager might improve his time here. They both stay the same. Let's go back to our live timing monitor. Of those on the racetrack right now, Polish Magic is the one with the fastest lap. Half a tenth faster now than Mr. Saxo. I'm gonna have to say though, I genuinely believe NGR's Robinson's lap time may be untouchable at this point. I was maybe thinking getting that low down that people might be getting a bit closer to that time, or maybe Robinson may have even been able to break into the 52s. But it seems like that lap may have just been perfect and untouchable. If you go to the track map, as you can see, the track quite busy at the minute. We've got nearly 4 cars on the same straightaway now. I apologise. I'm going to start unplugging that. I'm just looking through the race chatter here. It appears we also have a couple of more drivers here that may be joining us. We may also have more drivers joining us there. Let's back out and look at our entrance list once more. So here I am, of course, not participating, so ignore this driver. And here we have a new driver that has just joined, no pain, no gain. So in total, that will give us 1, 2, 3. That'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 13 cars on the racetrack. That'll be pretty cool. Of course, I think because I'm streaming this thing, the max they can be is 15, I think. I don't know why it counts me as a person at the lobby if I'm not participating, but there we go. The race, ladies and gentlemen, will be due to start in about 15 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick break. Enjoy following Lightning McQueen around Blue Moon Speedway. We'll be right back. Hello everybody, apologies for that little break there, but I couldn't be sat here without a cup of tea. So now that we are back at the racetrack, has anything changed? No, NGR Robinson's still holding the fastest lap time with a 53.098. JD Green of the drivers on the racetrack, back to the top though. Mr. Saxo though has managed to put out a faster lap than Polish. Who is this in the white paint scheme? Who is that in the white paint scheme? Was that a glitch? No. Savage Millsy is running a contemporary looking scheme here. He must have just joined there while we were on break, or I didn't notice him come in. But it's not about having the fanciest looking cars. Running a white Honda Civic, at least we'll know exactly who that is. Quite useful. I believe someone else joined. I believe we had, was it somebody else? No pain, no gain. Yeah, another Belgian driver. No pain, no gain in the field. Race starting in 15 minutes there in the chats. Remember, there is a, I believe, there's a sprint race and a main feature. And of course, remember, this race just for the bragging rights. This race is not an official league race. This is part of the test season that NGR are running in order to prep them for the hot hatch season beginning in the new year. These hot hatch races, though, very fun indeed. The last one they did at the Nuremberg Ring, I actually raced in. These guys are fast. I managed to get 6th in the sprint race on fuel mileage. Just barely. I had about 0.8% left of fuel. I put it way on down on lean. These guys burned up their fuel quickly, had to go to the pits. I just tried to cruise around and managed to just cruise over the line with very little fuel left and get 6th. And then I was blown away, obviously, in the main feature, as that strategy went out the window. Let's take a look at our guys on the racetrack, though. Edu and his Penske Ford, Joey Logano tribute scheme. That is a very nice scheme, very well put together. Apologies. Oh God. Promise you that'll go. That will be gone for future streams. General now bringing himself to a stop by Mr. Saxo on the apron. And GR Scotty in his Lest We Forget paint scheme. Very beautiful paint scheme. Coming now towards turn 2. Savage Millsy, though, sitting 4th of our drivers on the racetrack. Just behind Baz by 5/1000ths of a second. I'm very interested to see how much the slipstream comes into play in race conditions. I feel like if second place is close enough, no matter what, on the final lap, unless the leader blocks, second place could have a very good chance of winning the race. Baz now in turn 1. He's going to get into the wall a bit. That's going to kill his lap time. Edu just keeps it off. And the yellow flag is out. The driver's now pulling over for what I can assume is a similar thing to that we saw yesterday in the team versus team, as I said. For some reason, if you go into the pits, your time is invalidated. So I'm assuming what these guys are doing right now is qualifying. I'm just looking into the race chatter here, and it does seem that everyone will be starting with 30 litres of fuel. And people are unsure whether they will need to stop for fuel or not, but if pit stops do come into play, this could be very interesting and spice things up a little bit. I think that would be quite cool to see. Mr. Saxo says, I don't think you need to pit for fuel, maybe tyres. So he thinks that tyres are actually going to be the concern. He thinks the tyres will go away before the fuel. We'll have to wait and see. With about 5 minutes to go to race time, Edu now bringing his Pennzoil 22 down and line up behind the rest of the field. Let's ride on board now with NGR Scotty, because we can't actually do that in the main race for some reason. In his Lest We Forget paint scheme, is he going to run another lap, or is he bringing it around to stop with the others? We should probably check in with No Pain, No Gain, as we've not actually seen him on the racetrack yet. Very slow on the apron in turn 1 there, not sure what's happened there, or whether he's just driving it out to park it with the others. That would appear what is happening. So in case you guys are wondering, these guys are stopping on the back straightaway apron. Yep, No Pain, No Gain, bringing it down now. 5 cars currently on the apron. Who is this flying by? That's Baz. Still running a few more laps. They have the time to do it. Waste not, want not. These guys do have still some time to practice, qualify, whatever it is they're doing. I'm not entirely sure, but with those guys parking on the apron, I can only assume this is a qualifying session. But these guys on the apron obviously don't think they need to run any more laps, but obviously they do have the chance to if they would like before the final event kick off. Who's this back here? It's NGR Scotty. He's still running a few. NGR Scotty though has returned to the pits there. I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue and ruin his qualifying times. Lots of NGR paint schemes there. Got to say, I'm liking General's Monster Energy additions to his Honda Civic. Baz now pulling out from the group. Savage Millsy still running. So the drivers that have stopped right now are General A95. He thinks he's done enough that he can. No Pain, No Gain, Polish Magic, NGR Edu, and Mr. Saxo. They're parked on the back stretch. Still a few guys though in pit road. We have Lager, We Don't Belong Here, JD Green, and NGR Taylor now sat on pit road. Is that someone else? Baz has just come onto pit road also. NGR Robinson though running a few more laps before we kick off tonight's races. Let's check the time. Yep, the race will be starting in approximately 3 minutes roughly. Someone has just questioned in the race chatter, why are we all stopping at the side? I will confirm. Ooh, I did think this may be an issue. With flags being enabled, someone has just said that they were given a penalty for overtaking under the yellow conditions. I did think this may be an issue. And Edu has just confirmed, because if you stay in the pit, your lap won't count. That's why we are all stopped here. It's a bit of a shame. I believe for qualifying, maybe in hindsight, it would have been good to have the flags disabled. Yeah, as you can see now, NGR Robinson is coming up to the cars parked, and the overtaking is prohibited yellow flag symbol does come up. So I'm assuming drivers that are trying to qualify now with those guys sat there will be receiving penalties, which is most unfortunate. And also remember guys, if you're tuning in and would like to see an onboard view, our driver General A95 here, starting in the 8th position in his Monster Energy NGR Honda Civic, will be streaming a onboard view, so be sure to check that out if you would like to see an onboard throughout the entire race. It does appear though that everyone now is coming to a stop. Race is starting in a minute. Let's just take a look at the chat here. NGR Robinson has started the final. We will be racing in just 5 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. This is what these guys have been waiting for. The first test race here at Blue Moon Speedway. The next gen hot hatch. On pole, NGR Robinson. JD Green, Mr. Saxo, Polish Magic, Lager, Scotty, Edu, General, No Pain No Gain, We Don't Belong Here, NGR Taylor. Who was that in the back? Savage Millsy. The rolling start has just begun. Let's quickly fly through the field. Green flag is out here at Blue Moon Speedway. Here come the field now down into turn 1. Is there going to be any accidents? No, they're mostly getting single file. "12 race cars. Polish now diving underneath Saxo up a third. JD Green though using the slipstream, closing in on Robinson into 2. Let's change out these cameras. Get some better camera shots. Take a look in the back, we have Taylor. Taking his time. Look at that, right out of the back bumper of Robinson. JD Green wants that lead. Lager holding it down on the bottom of the racetrack. Polish going to try and take advantage on the outside. They almost make contact. Polish just keeps it off the wall a little bit. Couple of cars into the wall. I believe that was Mr. Saxo also. But he gets a good run past Polish. The battle for the lead though, still hot as JD Green dives it down into 2. He's going to make the pass on the bottom, but will he be able to stick it? He does. Textbook pass on an oval racetrack. But Robinson fights back to the inside. JD Green right against the outside wall. He's going to get the good drive off there. Robinson's going to tuck it in right behind Mr. Saxo now up to 3rd. Lager using that slipstream. Going to get down on the inside of Mr. Saxo, going now across the start finish line. The field breaking away just a little bit. JD Green back in front. Let's check in with our guys in the back here. General A95 with our onboard camera, streaming on a different YouTube channel, General A95, running in the 9th position. Just ahead of him, We Don't Belong Here, and Edu. It looks like Edu's going to make a pass on Scotty here. Will it stick? Scotty there went for the crossover, was unable to make it happen. NGR Robinson though has got ahead of JD Green again. These guys battling very hard for this race lead. Bumper to bumper. He's going to put it down. It's Ford versus Clio. JD Green goes way down there and gets a little bit loose. Going to lose a bit of time. I can't seem to... It's a bit weird. It wasn't letting me look at Mr. Saxo there, but we've got back on Mr. Saxo running in 3rd. Currently a couple of seconds off our leader. Lightning McQueen though, just behind him. Polish Magic make out your top 5. The top 5 now breaking away a little bit from the rest of the pack. Edu leading the second pack. NGR Scotty, We Don't Belong Here, General and Savage Millsy battling quite close. We Don't Belong Here gets really loose though. I'm not sure if we saw some contact there, but he's got a heck of a run going down the front stretch, getting right beside Edu. Almost some contact there into turn 1. 3 wide into turn 1. They very quickly set the lat out though. Oh, Edu gets into the wall a little bit, so does General. And Joe Robson, probably with the biggest lead he's had so far over JD Green, with 0.3 of a second. But JD Green is keeping it close enough to use that slipstream to his advantage. I feel like for the entirety of this race, these two are going to be inseparable. As Polish has got around Lager and Mr. Saxo, and those two are going to be battling it down the front stretch here. It looks like advantage to Polish. But look at this Lager trying to make it 3 wide in the middle. Advantage to Polish, runs a flawless turn 1. He gets a little bit into the outside wall, that'll slow him down just a little bit. This is intense, I need to take a sip of my cup of tea. 1 sec, guys. JD Green wants looking. He's looking to find some way of getting around Robinson without the requirement of slipstream. And here we are, pit stops underway. NGR Robinson makes his way onto pit road. JD Green takes the race lead. Just under halfway, Robinson comes down for fuel. You can see on this 39 gallons of fuel he's come out with, and hards. JD Green though, no help. He's all alone, no slipstream, no nothing. So my assumption is these three, if they work together, will catch him down quite quickly. We Don't Belong Here now up into 5th with Scotty just behind him in 6th. This sort of back part of the pack now starting to split apart. General now battling with Edu for the 8th spot. NGR Robinson now comes out in 10th. However, he has made his pit stop. Behind him, Taylor, and No Pain No Gain. JD Green now going another lap without pitting. If they pit now, they will be good on fuel. Looks like JD Green would like to use more of his tank. These guys still battling so hard for the 2nd position now on the racetrack. Was the 3rd. Once pit stops have cycled out, this is the 3rd place position these guys are fighting for. But the advantage to Polish coming into turn 3. These guys putting on a heck of a battle in the Battle of the Civics. We Don't Belong Here now coming down pit road, as does JD Green. So does NGR Scotty. Your current race leader now, Polish Magic. Multiple drivers now on pit lane getting some fuel. But it is the story of Polish, Saxo and Lager now battling for the top spot. Mr. Saxo dives it down, entering turn 2. Polish runs it a little wide there, he's going to lose 2nd also to Lager. He may be able to capture it though down the front stretch. Who's this coming off pit road? No Pain No Gain has made his pit stop. He's entering turn 1 now as the leaders make their way onto pit road. Polish, Mr. Saxo and Lager are all in. JD Green will reclaim the lead. But Robinson is not far behind him, just 2 seconds separate the top 2. Remember, Robinson made his stop a lap earlier. And if it was tyres that were the issue, despite Robinson now coming back up to the top, his tyres are a lap older by... No, they're 2 laps older than Green's. So tyre wear could cost Robinson the chance at winning this race. Savage Millsy up to 3rd, yet to make a stop, I believe. Lager is back out ahead of Polish and Saxo as they battle coming out of turn 2. Advantage to Polish. JD Green and Robinson are setting similar lap times. Let's look at our line timing monitor, or our lap chart, shall we? So the fastest lap currently was JD Green. Apologies, that was my cups clinking. Ooh, this is exciting. 4 laps to go. There's a Saxo now trying to take advantage of Savage Milty, who I can assume is saving fuel. Plus his tyres must be shot to hell at this point. Polish Magic a little bit off the pace, not sure what's going on there. We Don't Belong Here could capitalise on Polish's slowness. But Mr. Saxo is back up into 3rd, but he's battling with Lager for that position as they make contact. Coming out of the final corner, advantage to Mr. Saxo. 3 laps to go. Savage Milty now coming down pit road. As you can see, completely out of fuel. He ran it as far as he could. Not enough fuel though to last 14 laps. Robinson there a little bit loose. Looks like he made contact with the outside wall. Going to slow him down. Advantage now to JD Green for 3 seconds. Mr. Saxon now got a little bit of a comfort zone over Lager for the 3rd spot. We Don't Belong Here has capitalised on Polish's. I'm assuming he may have received some sort of damage. I'm not sure what the damage settings are for this race. But no, Polish is coming back. He's got to run on the outside. They make contact. Polish hits the outside wall pretty hard. Savage Millsy has disconnected from the server. Bit of contact though between We Don't Belong Here and Polish. Polish was sent into the outside wall. I'm going to say We Don't Belong Here chopped him off a little bit. Polish then, of course, probably a bit annoyed, trying to run a bit too hard there, gets into the wall again. Slowing him, unfortunately, right down. Our race leader, though, has put a 3.2 second gap between him and NGR Robinson, our fastest lap holder, during practice and qualifying. He's going to come out of turn 4, though, to receive the white flag. Robinson can see him out of his windshield. Probably devastated. As it is possibly tyre wear from pitting too early that meant that he could not catch JD Green back up. JD Green though entering turn 2 for the final time. Feeling very comfortable with a 3.4 second lead. Only 1 more corner to go. However, a mistake though still could happen. But I very much doubt it. JD Green has put on a flawless performance both on pit road and on the racetrack. His driving and his strategy is going to get him the win this evening at Blue Moon Speedway. Your race winner, JD Green. NGR Robinson comes 3.2 seconds back, followed by Mr. Saxo. We Don't Belong Here. Polish Magic make out your top 5. NGR Scotty comes across the line in 6th. Lager will finish 7th. Edu 8th and General 9th. And the battle for the 10th spot still continues coming out of the final corner. the slipstream not going to be enough to help Taylor today. No pain, no gain. We'll take 10th, and NGR Taylor will finish this race in 11th. Well, what a race that was, guys. Let's take you to victory lane with our winner in the Duff Ford Focus, JD Green. Congratulations to that man. Heck of a performance. And I believe that was the sprint race, or was that the whole thing? I'll have to check the race chatter. Just asking to see if there is another race kicking off. It has been confirmed we are having another one. This should be interesting. Robinson probably knows his mistake. I don't know if he's tuning into the stream, but from what I could see there, his tyres had worn more considerably due to pitting a little bit too early, and therefore was unable to catch JD Green back up. JD Green, though, of course, was putting down some flawless racing. It has been confirmed, guys, we have a 40-lap main event coming up. That should be amazing. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Let me just find out how the field is being set. Reverse field, question mark, has been put. There we go, N. Robinson on the ball there. I didn't even have to. It's like he knew. So the winner, our race winner, JD Green, will be starting last. Then N. Robinson second last, and then obviously I think it was Taylor that crossed the line in last place that race. He will be starting on pole for our 40-lap main feature. As you can tell by my voice, I'm excited to see this. This should be incredible. Pit strategy is going to definitely come into play. That was a 14-lap race, and these guys had to pit once, so pitting is going to be crucial. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, guys, but we'll be back for the main event. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, welcome to the next gen hot hatch test race at Blue Moon Speedway. The guys here have just completed their sprint race, 14 laps. The winner, JD Green, winning by approximately 3.2 seconds. It was a very exciting race. So these are the details. The grid is based on the previous race results, and it has been reversed. So our race winner will be starting in the rear, and the person that came across the finish line in last will be on the pole. 40 laps here at Blue Moon Speedway. We've had a pretty good race so far. Pretty exciting, pretty close. The biggest battle on the racetrack, I would have to say, was for that third place. Mr. Saxo, Polish Magic, and NGR Lager there put on quite the show. So the guys now running a few more practice laps, a few more warm-up laps before tonight's main event. I might be talking out my arse here, the details are not confirmed, but I believe what these guys are doing right now is preparation for a new series of Next Gen League starting next year in the new year, a Hot Traps League. So they're just running a few different tracks, a few different races. So this is a friendly event. There's no points awarded. It's just purely for bragging rights. Of course, JD Green, the one with those bragging rights after finishing first in the sprint race. He's coming straight back on the pit road though, on his outlap. No pain, no gain joined very late on in our practice / qualifying session. So it is likely he's just running a few laps as he didn't get the opportunity to do so earlier. I'm not actually sure if this is allowed by the rules, but we will have to see. Peerless Magic there, a little bit robbed towards the end, I'd have to say. Him and, no, he's gone. I don't think he's here. Is he here? Did he leave? It was him and We Don't Belong Here. They were battling very hard there on the second last lap. A little bit of contact was made, and Peerless Magic went into the wall, obviously killing his straightaway speed. So obviously, Peerless Magic looking for a little bit of redemption in the main event. All tyre options are available. Some guys like NGR Robinson here look like they will be starting on soft, whereas NGR Scotty has opted for the hard tyres. So a bit of mixed strategy for our main event, which should make things very interesting indeed. I'm not sure if there is a way we can check people's tyre options. Obviously if someone's watching, that kind of gives away their strategy, so at the same time it would be nice to know though what tyres everybody is on, but I don't think there is an actual option to do that, so we will just have to assume or keep an eye on them in the pits. But you did see the race command there will begin in 1 minute in the chat logs. If you are enjoying the stream, guys, do consider giving it a like and do subscribe for more content like this, as I do hope to commentate many more NGR events in the future. Yellow flag is out. Did someone spin out, or have we got a parked car again? I think we have a parked car. We have General A95 parked there on the apron into turn 2. So ensure the door's locked so I don't get murdered whilst I'm doing this. The final is about to begin. Remember guys, there is an option to see an onboard of this race. If you search General A95 into YouTube, his stream of his onboard view should come up. So on pole we have the Dale Earnhardt Jr. scheme of Baz 46, followed by NGR Taylor, No Pain No Gain, General A95, Edu, Lager, Scotty, Peerless Magic, We Don't Belong Here. Whoa, where's... Looks like we've lost Mr. Saxo. Mr. Saxo asking if we can restart. It looks like there was an issue there. Mr. Saxo somehow not in the field as Baz takes the lead going into turn 1. Big implications for Mr. Saxo here. NGR Robinson requesting the people back out. We got a wreck. It does not like this is official start. This will not be an official start. I'm not sure if some people cannot see the chat. This is official in the chat. In the race chat here, this was not an official start of the race. Have they left the lobby? No, they've just backed out of the race. Okay, so they're all still here. It looks like maybe a few guys had not clicked the enter tick. Eddie Robinson clearly a bit frustrated, saying this is why he gives the minute warnings, which is quite understandable. So that was not the official start of the 40-lap main event. We will try it again. Not entirely sure what is happening. There's no chatter going on in the race chat here. Looks like another driver was making last-minute adjustments. Do we have guys still on the racetrack? We have one guy still on the racetrack. We require him to back out to start again, I think. There we go. The race has been cancelled. We shall get the lobby going again. Let's hope all our drivers here have entered the race. Of course, I have not entered, as I will be spectating the entire thing. Let's just make sure we have the full field here. We have Polish, General, Scotty, Saxo, We Don't Belong Here, Barnes, Edu, Lager. Where the heck? They just keeps jumping, those guys, for some reason. Taylor. We did lose someone. So there should be one car missing. Let's back out. Read the names. Yes, we had one car back out. That was the Silvo guy, I think. Sylvie. So yes, that leaves 11 cars. 12 cars. There was 13. And of course I'm the 14th person of the lobby, but I'm not actually participating. We need 10 players to enter the race there, Archie says in the bottom right, so we will be able to tell if everyone's in. NGR Robinson and JD Green currently not in, but obviously Robinson is the host, so I'm sure he will be doing that. JD Green, though, also our race winner of the, well, race winner of the first race, our sprint event. I'm very much assuming that he'll be in. General, though, obviously concerned for his fellow men, asking if everybody is in now. From my point of view, it doesn't look like there is. JD Green and NGR Robinson still need to join. I think NGR Robinson is just waiting until he can see that everybody's in. Before that, let's just send a message to the boys. Good luck. Or should we say? And have a good race. Never noticed that plane just flying over the racetrack there as we head to spec mode. Let's check everyone's sort of strategies. NGR Taylor taking super softs. A couple of drivers on softs. We don't know what these guys are on. Sadly. I'm currently in the race chat, and apparently the lobby may have to be restarted. Oh. NGR Robinson, massive implications for the lobby. His game has apparently frozen. He is unable to do anything. That may cause us some issues. I'm assuming we'll have to make a new lobby. As to restart the game, that means this lobby would die, which would make the reverse grid thing a bit difficult. We are having some technical difficulties at this moment in time. Please do bear with us, though. We do have a very exciting final feature coming up very shortly. But it does appear that Dave Robinson of NGR will have to restart. And the lobby has just died. So we will remain here in the lobby waiting for it to restart. Show rooms with friends. Don't know who this is. Don't know who that is. But we will be here updating this lobby. We're going to take a quick break, guys, while this sorts itself out. Please don't go anywhere. The main event coming up soon. Back, ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new lobby set up for us for the final 40 lap race here. We're going to just quickly jump into a party, the same one we were in earlier, with our in-race reporters, Mr. Saxo, General, and Polish Magic. Let me just get it open. Apologies for the blue screen. This party seems to have increased in size. Let's get in here. Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hello, our commentator for this evening.
Jamie.
How was the race?
Oh, that was awesome fun.
It looked very fun.
It was fun. I was battling with Chris, aka NGR Edu.
Yeah, there was a good battle between you and Edu. I managed to capture that. But it looked good on the
Thanks,
onboard
man.
also.
Cool.
So it's Mr.
Yeah,
Saxo's fault that everything exploded there at the end and we have a new lobby, kind of.
Yeah, I messed up.
Did they not put tyres on?
No, I thought, I saw his warnings, I thought, yeah, let's go. But apparently I didn't press to join the lobby, the
Or the
track.
enter button, I see.
Yes. Noob mistake, I know.
So we should have 12 drivers.
12?
Yeah, one commentator, that's
yeah,
you.
Indeed.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen on my stream, the pretty English fellow in here that you hear is no one less but Jamie Scrafton.
And also people on my stream, General 95 is streaming an onboard camera of his Monster Energy NGR Honda Civic. So if you'd like to get an in-race view, do check out his stream. Just type in General A95 with a space between General and A95. No pain, no gain. That was quite a battle there at the end with you. Passing that guy in the last corner.
I know, it was quite a lot of fun. Well,
And Mr. Saxo, you're battling with
NGR.
Polish, and
that was more
you
like
guys were
team
battling
play,
very
Jamie.
hard. It was cool to watch, though.
No, we were kind of hoping we could take advantage of our slipstream to get back to the front guys, but
I did say that,
didn't really work out.
it worked out a little bit, but I think Lager
Yeah.
kept breaking up the party.
Yeah, but
so to
we had
speak.
a lot of fun, and that's what counts.
Yeah, it was
That
very fun to
awesome
watch
fun.
also.
Going 3 wide in those fast corners, that's amazing.
Well, I wish you all the very best of luck in the main event, and I'll catch up with you guys at the end of the race. See you guys soon, take care. So those were our in-race reporters here at Blue Moon Speedway. Blue Moon Bay Speedway. Have I been missing out the bay every single time? I don't even know. NGR Robinson there saying, okay, I think it's sorted. 12 drivers have entered the race, so we will be ready to go very shortly. For tonight's main event. Race is in 1 minute. It has been confirmed. The green flag will be dropping in approximately 60 seconds. JD Green looking to win the main event after already scoring the win in the sprint race. Will NGR Robinson sort of get his mojo back? He kind of, from my point of view, had the power to get this done. Sadly was unable to do that in the sprint race, but with more pit stops and more time, will he be able to stay out front? We'll have to wait and see. We now need all of our drivers to get onto the racetrack. Lager, Taylor and Scotty still remaining out there. Lager's coming out now. As was Robinson. Taylor though and Scotty still sat there on pit road. I believe they have to come to the racetrack. As there goes somebody. Was that No Pain? Yeah, No Pain, No Gain is now leaving pit road also. Edu there, still rocking his 22 Joey Logano tribute paint. Very, very nice. Robinson also with his NASCAR paint scheme. The guy's now pulling up on the backstretch, where they will park it for the race. We don't belong here, driving with his hazards on. Mr. Saxo though, full gunning it. Getting a bit of practice in. These guys need to get out on the racetrack. JD Green might risk being penalised. Who else is that on pit road? NGR Scotty may risk penalisation. as will Taylor if they remain on pit road. We'll have to wait and see as the race is about to begin. Baz, Scotty, General, Lager, Taylor, we don't belong here. No pain, no gain. Edu, Polish, Saxo, Robinson, JD, Green. This is the reverse field, I believe, perfectly set up. Your pulse at Baz 46 will take the green flag here at Blue Moon Speedway. The main event is underway. General now underneath Scotty. A little bit of contact made between General and Scotty there by looks. The field looking quite messy back there. We don't belong here now. Dives underneath Lager. He's going to get a good run on Scotty also. But Baz is gone. Nearly a 1.8 second lead already on the first lap. As the rest of the field battles to decide positions, it's going a bit crazy. Lager now into the grass. A couple of guys up into the wall. It's getting a bit crazy back here. They settle themselves, going onto the main straightaway. JD Green getting around Robinson there. And it is Lager that gets the worst of that, getting pushed down to the infield. Baz though, flying ahead of his competition. They're free wide into turn 1. Did they all make it through? Polish and Saxo once again slipstreaming together. Baz's lead is slowly diminishing now, down back to 1.5 seconds. Polish now though trying to get around We Don't Belong Here on the top side. Looks like there was a little bit of contact made between the two. Polish looks like he got pushed into the wall a little bit. Looks like Polish returns the favour. We Don't Belong Here up and into the wall. Polish obviously not a fan of how he was driven coming out of 2. Repaid the favour in 3. But it is JD Green who has made it up into the 5th spot as they begin lap 3. Baz now with a 2-second lead coming into 1. Free wide, Edu, General, no pain, no gain. They touch. They're making contact down the back stretch. It is General with the advantage. He needs to bring his car down. He's going to run the middle lane. NGR Robinson now probably a little bit panicky. He wants to get around these guys as soon as possible. One of the fastest drivers on the racetrack right now. But traffic is in his way. JD Green now has a bit of traffic in front of him. It's JD Green with 53 at 05. I believe that's the fastest lap we've seen all day. How far is Baz ahead now? Nearly 2.5 seconds up in front. Polish following suit. We Don't Belong Here though, also. Mr. Saxo, Green and We Don't Belong Here now free wide into 2. We Don't Belong Here nearly gets up into Smyers. Mr. Saxo managed to hold on, but it looks like they make contact there a little bit. Mr. Saxo into the wall. We Don't Belong Here driving very hard. Mr. Saxo's going to get around him in 3. But We Don't Belong Here is going to get the run out of the final corner. We now are 10th into this race. Pit stop should be occurring shortly. The field's settling out to the way it used to be. JD Green goes around Polish for the 2nd spot. He now guns down Baz. Baz's lead is now being slowly chewed away by Green. Where is Robinson in all of this mess? He's back in the 6th spot. Just on these two favourites. These have been the fastest guys all day long here at Blue Moon Bay. Polish, though, able to run green back down with the use of the slipstream. Sounds like Baz got a bit loose into one. And here they all come. Baz has now lost 5/10 of his original lead as JD Green is on the hunt. Mr. Saxo and Polish now once again battling side by side, putting on a tremendous side by side show here, as they have done all evening. Robinson dives onto pit road, performing the same strategy he did in the first race, coming in on lap 6. I thought we could spectate the pit stop with like the animations and stuff, but apparently not. Edu also in. Baz has lost a lot of time. GD Green is pulling along the rest of the field, and they are all catching Green now. They're all catching Baz. My apologies. No pain, no gain. General Taylor and Scotty now battling for the 8th spot, all very close by. 2 by 2 they go into turn 2. JD Green is in. Mr. Saxo and Polish also in. They've come in for their stop. Lager is also in. General dives to pit road. Payne, Taylor and Scotty stay out. We don't belong here, and Baz 46 now your top 2. These two, of course, remember, still needing to come to pit road, as with these 3, Scotty, No Pain, No Gain, and Taylor. JD Green is the first off pit road. Where is Taylor in all of this? He's back there in 9th, but he is not having to speed up, get up to speed. He is straight away. Probably going to catch Saxo down this straight away. Baz is in. Are we going to get Baz's pit stop animation? Cool, let's watch this, because it hasn't worked with the other guys. Doesn't look like a tyre change for Baz, just some fuel. Taylor and No Pain are in now, also. I can't tell if they're getting tyres or not. There's not really animation for it. There's not really animation for anything actually now. Look at it. Yeah, some of them are getting animation, some of them are not. I don't understand. We don't belong here. Currently your race leader with 14-second advantage back to NGR Scotty. However, We Don't Belong Here has not been to pit road. He is the longest one staying out. He'll be expected to come this time. And he does. He dives down. As things cycle around, NGR Scotty will be the race leader, but I presume he also has to come to pit road. As Polish has got around Green, and Scotty does come to pit road. This is the battle for the lead right now. JD Green, Polish. Baz is right there in the mix also. Just a second behind Green as they come down the front stretch to take the 10th lap flag. Lager now running in the 6th spot. And as you can see here, Polish is your race leader. He's managing to hold pace. Green is only catching him very slowly through the use of the slipstream. look at this battle now up here. Polish, Green, Saxo, Belong, Robinson. They are your top 5. Baz currently in 11th. I don't know what is Baz really in 11th? Excuse me, that doesn't seem right. I'm not sure. Maybe Baz did have some sort of problems as he's now down to 12th. I'm not sure what is happening here. But looking at the only stats that we have, Baz now in 11th. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I'm guessing something must have. Let's take it back to the lead as Polish is still leading. But he gets quite heavily into the wall there. JD Green going to take advantage of that. Polish is holding his own despite getting into the wall, but it will be JD Green who leads this lap. Mr. Saxo now in 3rd. I believe that is where he finished in the sprint race. Robinson is yet to lead a lap, as he's trying to get around the lapped car of Baz. I'm not going to be able to do it this time. Scotty there back in the 6th position. 13 seconds off the pace as Longer gets into the wall quite considerably there. Apologies for that cough. Oh. And look at this, Mr. Saxo has ran these 2 guys down. JD Green and Polish racing each other have slowed themselves. Mr. Saxo with no competition has caught them up. In all honesty, pit stops could be possible very shortly, depending on how much fuel these guys have put on. Mr. Saxo, they're running the very high line in 2. He's going to get a great run off the corner. And he's going to challenge Polish for 2nd. Can he keep his speed going through the final turn? Polish with the advantage. But Mr. Saxo has the run, side by side. Mr. Saxo will cross the line though, in 2nd using JD's slipstream. Let's look back in the pack. General now running all alone in the 10th spot. His nearest competitor is No Pain No Gain, 6.4 seconds ahead. And Baz quite a considerable amount behind. So General is the lonely driver at this point on the circuit. Pretty much has a whole straightaway to himself. Mr. Saxo though out in front here. Lead change, but JD Green's going to battle back on the inside. Mr. Saxo made a very good run through this corner before. Will he be able to hold his lead? It looks like JD Green's just going to be able to push him out. Green backs out. Mr. Saxo leads that lap. The top 3 now, within 5/10 of each other. Here they come. The lapped car of Baz 46 fighting with Robinson right now. Robinson is probably not going to be liking this. Now nearly 3.8 seconds behind the race leader, Mr. Saxo, who is pulling away slightly from Green. Polish seems to have settled into the 3rd place position. He's quite comfortable where he is. The leader's right in front of him. JD Green though gets around Saxo. We Don't Belong Here has been creeping up though on these three drivers, pulling in about half a tenth every lap or so. He is closing in on those top three. But I feel like Mr. Saxo has had a scent of victory. He got out front, he knows he's capable. He's going to force the issue. He's going to fight for that lead. I wish we could ride on board. Sadly, we cannot. Not when they are racing. He manages to get the lead just for a split second. Oh, they touch! Mr. Saxo and JD Green make a bit of paint and scrapes there. Polish Magic there, of course, got into the wall a little bit, obviously trying to avoid whatever that was. He thought maybe perhaps something bigger was going to happen. But sadly, NGR Robinson appears to have lost the slipstream of these front four. Now losing time as him and Baz sort of try and work together to get up to the front. Let's check in with General. Excuse me. He was slowly running down, no pain, no gain. Oh, but General hits the wall hard there in turn one. Very easily done. Three wide for the race lead into turn one. We don't belong here on the inside. Polish looks like he's going to give him a bit of a push, but he's going to dive to the inside. They're going to be three wide into two. JD Green with the advantage now, pulling away slightly. Mr. Saxo gets around We Don't Belong Here. These four drivers are putting on quite the display. The top four within 6/10 of each other. As Mr. Saxo dives onto pit road, Polish goes to and hits the inside wall. Big implications for Polish. NGR Robinson now to the inside. He takes third. Mr. Saxo now coming off the pits. He will be in 5th position. But NGR Scotty will likely catch him into 1. Let's ride along with our leaders, see which ones pit now that Steve may have forced their hand. With Mr. Saxo pitting fresher tyres, this may force others onto pit road. Mr. Saxo though now fighting to take away that 6th spot from Scotty, which he does. The guys do not come down pit road. JD Green, We Don't Belong Here, and Robinson all opt to stay out, but we do have people coming onto pit road. Polish now and Baz come to pit road. See, now it says Baz is in 4th. I'm confused about Baz's true position on the racetrack, and I think so is GT Sport. JD Green though about to put General a lap down, 20 laps into this event. One more corner till the cross flags, until we are halfway home. Mr. Saxo currently 13 seconds behind. He will be without a doubt the race leader once these guys hit pit road. Those fresh tyres are just too precious. Let's look at the lap chart quickly. Where is Mr. Saxo's laps? What was this? JD Green has set just the fastest lap there. But Mr. Saxo is running them down ever so slightly. We Don't Belong Here does take the lead, but it's only for a very brief moment as JD Green back to the front. Oh, there's contact. JD Green into the wall. We Don't Belong Here and JD Green battling very hard for the race lead. It's gonna not pay off for We Don't Belong Here, who gets wedged out of the slipstream. The lapped car of General A95 may prove difficult for these fellows. But yeah, it's just the same amount of rights to be racing on this surface as any of them. Ooh, a bit more contact there. But We Don't Belong Here is going to take the lead. JD Green going to try and force him down. We Don't Belong Here, proving that rubbing is racing. Robinson, though, is closing the gap on these leaders quite considerably. Mr. Saxo, though, sadly losing time with no partners in the draft. He is now our new lonely driver, with 10 seconds in one direction and almost 20 in another. No help for Mr. Saxo. Means he is just losing time back there in fourth. We Don't Belong Here, though, out front. JD Green following, and as does NGR Robinson. He is slowly gaining, and is going to require General A95 slipstream if he's going to want to get back up to these leaders. No pain, no gain now, moving to the low side of the racetrack. You can see our race leaders coming. He's sticking it very low to the bottom. He allows our drivers to go past. He puts it onto the grass, I think. A respectful move, nevertheless, whether he intended to go on the grass or not, but he pulled out of the way. Very cool to see. Mr. Saxo slightly gaining time, but just as quickly losing it. Polish, Magic and Baz now fighting for the 5th spot on the racetrack. Of course, Polish suffered quite a hard hit attempting to get onto pit road, follow his teammate Mr. Saxo, but that resulted in him hitting the tyre barrier, which of course really slowed him down and he had to go another lap on worse tyres, etc. JD Green, though, now back in front, but only momentarily, because here comes We Don't Belong Here. And the crossover. Who will win at the line this time? JD Green, by your nose! Oh, God! That was an unpleasant cough, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. My apologies for that. Right. That's the kind of finish I want to see. JD Green beat We Don't Belong Here to the line by his nose. NGR Robinson now has brought it down to 1.3 seconds behind our race leaders. Mr. Saxo, though, still stuck in a rut, but he does have the help of No Pain, No Gains slipstream, which should help speed him up a little bit. We are now more than halfway into this event. Whoa, We Don't Belong Here to top to bottom. Very reckless driving, but will it pay off? No, Green's going to have the run on the outside line. We Don't Belong Here will not be denied today. He's racing like there's 3 laps to go. Maybe it'll pay off for him, maybe it won't. We'll have to wait and see. But as these two are fighting for position, NGR Robinson is running them down. These guys still yet to come to pit road. My guess is they took a huge fuel tank on the first pit stop. Let's look at our back markers now. NGR Taylor currently running at the very tail end of the field. He's looking quite lonely. No Pain, No Gain now has been lapped by Mr. Saxo. General A95 now stands a minute behind our race leader. Hang on a minute, how does that work? NGR Taylor's 41 seconds behind the lead. General's a minute behind, but I don't know. I don't know how this is working at all. So General also fairly lonely. Mr. Saxo running him down. But our top 5 is about to change hands as Polis dives underneath Baz. Will it stick into 1? It looks like it will. Ooh, it looks like Baz may have got into the back bumper of Polish or managed to just swerve out the way. It was a bit of a difficult camera angle to see. As We Don't Belong Here once again in the lead. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. These guys are changing hands almost every lap. I think there's been more lead changes in this race than there has in the entire F1 season this year. We Don't Belong Here, look at this. He's trying to block the use of the slipstream by JD Green. He's driving that car all over the racetrack, trying to break the draft. A very pro move to make, providing he doesn't hurt too much of his speed. Robinson now still clawing away. He wants to get up to the back bumper of Green. At one point, Robinson was the fastest man on the racetrack. As somebody is on pit road, let's take a look at who this is. Taylor has come in. He's going to fuel up. My guess is Taylor has taken enough fuel now to make it to the end. It appears he has a penalty though by looking at his timer. Not quite sure what that is for. As Mr. Saxo now has run down General A95. In a bit of a tough spot, he's going to try and get around that driver on the inside. Once they run side by side. We Don't Belong Here though has pulled it out to 8/10 over Green. They're going to take a quick break, guys, as we approach 11 laps to go. We'll see you soon. Back to Blue Moon Bay Speedway. Your current leader, We Don't Belong Here, has now stretched it out to 2.8 seconds with less than 10 laps to go. Mr. Saxo, NGR Robinson, sorry, has just left pit road now. He is good on fuel. Mr. Saxo, we can assume, is also good on fuel. However, We Don't Belong Here in JD Green, I'm not too sure. they might have to make a splash and dash. Mr. Saxo, though, now in third, 11 seconds behind our race leader. We don't belong here. Baz rounds out your top 5. Polish Magic now back down to 8th, as Lager and Scotty battle for the 6th spot on the track. No pain, no gain. Still in the top 10. With about a 5-second advantage over General, who is currently our last place driver. We don't belong here, though. Surging away now. 3-second lead. He's got 8 laps left. Coming down to 7 laps left. Could he win? By such a large amount? The battling only 5 laps ago was so tight and intense. But now look at the lead. Those are your top 3 there, all on the same straightaway now, but with huge gaps between them. Robinson now, I can only assume, has put on some nice and soft tyres for the remaining laps. Will he have a chance to get a podium? We'll have to wait and see. The time is fluctuating. JD Green in some corners is making that time back up. In some corners he's losing that time. Right now, depending on Belong Here's fuel situation, I believe he's going to be able to sit there fairly comfortably. But it does dip below the 3-second mark now, but Green gets heavily into the wall, pushed it a little bit too hard there, I think, and the timer shoots back up to 3 minutes. 3 seconds, sorry, 3.4 seconds. So that may have cost him the win. Just what we saw there, which would be a real shame. Green has been an absolute speed demon here at Blue Moon Bay. Mr. Saxo showed some promise earlier in the race, leading a few laps. And NGR Robinson was the original fastest in practice and won the pole, or the sprint race, but seemed to have been lacking speed. I don't believe that he even got out front to lead 1 lap in both events. JD Green kind of ran away with it in the sprint race. The battle for the lead, though, over this 40-lap feature has been heavily contested between Mr. Saxo, Polish, Green, and We Don't Belong Here now. But with a 4-second lead, coming to 4 to go next time by, I don't think these guys can make up a second a lap. Unless We Don't Belong Here has problems with fuel or an accident, I believe he's going to walk away the winner of the main event. But still quite a long way to go, and anything can happen. Judging by the times being set now by Green, let's look at our chart, our lap chart. Everyone is running in the positions they should be according to the lap chart. So We Don't Belong Here setting the fastest, JD second fastest, Saxo third fastest, Robinson fourth fastest. That is just the way that it's going. We Don't Belong Here has now raised the lead to 5.3 seconds. I feel like now, watching the way that We Don't Belong Here is running, he's just obviously got a strong solo car, but when he was around other people and they could use his slipstream and stuff, he struggled there a little bit with speed. But once he was able to break away, it's doing him the world of favours. Lap traffic, though, not going to be an issue. The first car in front of him is NGR Scotty on the racetrack, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch him before the white flag and the checkered flag wave. Excuse me. Is there any close battles on the racetrack that we can keep an eye on? Or has the field spread out? The field now well spread out. They've all settled into their little positions. The top four basically own half the racetrack. The rest of the racetrack is owned by everybody else. But as We Don't Belong Here takes 2 laps to go, he stretches his lead to 6 seconds. But he gets heavily into the wall. It's not going to cost him that much time by the looks of it, though. He was able to recover quite well. But it looks like this race is going to end in heartbreak for JD Green. As We Don't Belong Here comes out of the final corner to take the white flag. That is the gap to second. The red car just over 7 seconds back now. But the white flag waves. 1 lap to go here at Blue Moon Bay. We Don't Belong Here didn't finish too strong in the sprint race. But he's held on. He fought hard with JD Green for that lead. Debatable whether there was a bit of unnecessary use of contact. It was hard to tell from our views. But nevertheless, once he got out front, he was able to pull an 8.5 second lead. As he comes out of the final corner. We Don't Belong Here is going to win at Blue Moon Bay. Heartbreak for JD Green, who will cross the line in 2nd place. And a good run for Mr. Saxo, finishing 3rd. NGR Robinson won't get a taste of leading a lap, but he'll gain a top 5 in the main event. Baz, the pole sitter for this race, held his own quite well. As he comes out of the final corner, he will claim the 5th spot. Largo will follow, followed by Polish. NGR Scotty will finish 8th. Taylor, no pain, no gain. And Jen will round out the field there. We take you to victory lane with We Don't Belong Here. What an impressive drive there at the end from this driver. And what a race. We saw a lot of good battling there for the race lead. Lots of side-by-side action. And that was the Next Gen Hot Hatch experience at Blue Moon Bay Speedway. I fully enjoyed every minute of that. Pretty incredible. Let's see what the guys have to say in the chat following the events. Everyone's saying they also really enjoyed themselves, which was good. I hope we all did at home too. So a shout out to our winners of tonight's event. JD Green winning the sprint race, that 14 lap shootout. He also finished 2nd in the main event, so very, very fast guy. Congratulations to him. And of course, congratulations to our main event winner, We Don't Belong Here. Very impressive drive there at the end. 8 seconds he won this race by. Thanks for tuning in, guys, for the Next Gen Hot Hatch test race here at Blue Moon Bay Speedway. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I know I did. If you'd like to see more live streams of events like this, feel free to subscribe, because I will be commentating on further Next Gen events. There's another team versus team, for example, coming up very shortly. And I'll commentate on as much as the guys race, and as much as they'd like me to. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. I've been Jamie Scrafton, the presentator for tonight's events. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time.